Here's a little look at an example of cover four coming from the Vikings. We get these condensed splits and 21 personnel from the Packers, so we can see the offense and the defense are kind of packed into the box right now. But things that we're looking for in cover four. The first thing we're looking for is just to obviously identify our four quarters players. One, two, three, four. That's the obvious part. Um, the next thing that we're looking at when it comes to identifying cover four is the alignment of the safeties. Okay, in this case, the safeties are playing a little bit shallower than what you would see in cover two, right? They're playing at about 9-10 yards, whereas in cover two, we'd expect them to be 12 to 15, so a little bit shallower. You can also see they're aligned relative to formation, not to field markings, right? We see how this safety right here is playing inside of the wide hash, and he is playing splitting hash and numbers. They're not each taking half the field deep. They're playing relative to a field marking, right? So he is playing head up on the tight end. He is playing head up on the real or imaginary tight end because they're in 21 personnel. Therefore, there's a fullback, right? Now, the corners are a little bit misleading in cover four. They're playing outside leverage right now. Certain types of cover four will play outside leverage. Most types will play inside leverage. But because of these tight splits, obviously, it's unreasonable to put the corner inside. So they're playing a little bit outside. So we're not going to really look at the corners right now for our identification on cover four. It's more the fact that the safeties are giving it away. Now, what confirms the fact that this is cover four post snap is the safety's reaction to the snap and the ball, right? We see as the ball is snapped here, neither of them really gets into a back pedal, right? They both kind of stay where they are and they take what we call read steps. Sometimes it's a very minor back pedal. They move backwards a yard or two. Sometimes they kind of pop in place a couple of times. Sometimes they even just creep towards the receiver, as we see Harrison Smith doing right here. But these are indicators that these are cover four safeties. If this were cover two, which would be the other coverage when we get two high safeties like this, you would see both of them getting the heck out of there because they each have a high half of the field, right? If they're going to take half the field deep and they're responsible for vertical from these receivers, they've got to get the heck out of there so they can cover all the way to the sideline and all the way vertical down to the end zone. Okay, in this case, if this guy were to run vertical, that's not the safety's responsibility. That's the corner's responsibility. Initially, the threat to their quarter is the number two receiver. So he's just going to take his read steps, and you can see that they are going to react to the run, right? They get run coming at them, so they are working downhill. And obviously, this ends up being a reverse, and they end up having a chase. But we can still see that the safety's initial reaction to the run action going this direction was to step and fill and step and fill. And that's an important differentiation between cover two and cover four. In cover two, there is no run responsibility for the safety. The safety is the high half player. In cover four, on a run read, the safety becomes, at least on the strong side, becomes the alley player or the force player. He's the one who's supposed to take anything that bounces outside and make the tackle. And the safety should be slow fill and watch reverse, right? That's where he is. So the safeties become run players in cover four, which is why a lot of cover four defensive coordinators will tell you, oh, we're too high. And people think we're not good against the run because we've only got 7 in the box. But we don't view ourselves that way. We view ourselves as 9 in the box versus a run read. And cover four teams, these modern cover four teams are meant to be much more aggressive with those safeties. So when identifying cover four, both pre and post snap, the safeties are kind of the crucial indicators. Corners leverages can change and whatnot. Safeties are going to be your crucial indicators in terms of those identifications.